All right, when I was a little boy, I used to want to be a superhero. And not just any superhero. I wanted the strength and flying ability of Superman, but I wanted the web-slinging ability of Spider-Man. Wouldn't that be cool? I mean, that is cool when you're designing your ideal superhero. But should we have the same ability when it comes to the idea of designing babies? Stick around and we'll get into it. What's up? My name is Corlandos Scott, and I'm an assisted reproductive attorney in Los Angeles. And I really focus my entire practice on helping people grow their families through assisted reproductive technologies like egg donation, sperm donation, surrogacy, embryo donation, and all that good stuff. And in today's episode, we're going to look at the definition of designer babies. We'll talk about how it works. We'll look at the first designer baby, and we'll talk about it all. So let's get right into it. All right, so when people are talking about designer babies, the first thing that comes to mind are designer brands. You know, Louis, Gucci, Fendi, Prada, all the good stuff that you hear about in every pop and rap song on the planet. But remember, when we talk about designer babies, we're talking about humans and not handbags. So what in the world is a designer baby? Well, I'm literally quoting Google here, but a designer baby is a baby whose genetic makeup has been selected in order to eradicate a particular defect or to ensure that a particular gene is present. Now, hold on. That's exactly what PGD or PGS does, right, Corlandos? Does it mean that when fertility doctors screen embryos as part of the standard IVF procedure, that those embryos, those future babies, they're designer babies? Well, come on, Google. As much as it's almost correct, there is a little bit of intricacy here. When I'm talking about designer babies, I'm talking about babies that are genetically engineered in vitro to select traits, features, and whatever you can genetically edit. Imagine an originally white rose or a petunia changing into purple or making it glow in the dark or something like that, right? All right, so let's look at this in the flower world. Imagine an originally white rose or a petunia that's changed into purple or changed to make its features glow in the dark. I'm not making this up. This is stuff that's actually possible. Since the color is one of the most attractive characteristics of a plant, biotechnologists are able to change these features. And so when you have flowers that are in high demand, it paved the way scientifically for a market to be made to increase the value of ornamental plants. That's gene editing. And why is this even a thing? Well, frankly, it's because the market for ornamental flowers and plants is extremely competitive and lucrative. And so is IVF. It's pretty scary, huh? It sort of makes you think about those sci-fi movies that you've seen and thought, there's no way that's possible, right? But gene editing is no longer science fiction anymore. It's real, and it's actually here. Now, in its ideal state, gene editing is meant to eliminate or correct disease-causing genetic errors, right? So we're talking about helping increase the likelihood of health in individuals. So what we have with genome or gene editing is a group of technologies that gives scientists the ability to change an organism's DNA. That's animals, plants, and yes, even people. And by change, it means specific genetic material can be removed, it can be added, it can even be modified. Now, you may have heard of CRISPR, C-R-I-S-P-R. CRISPR-Cas9 is the most recent and probably the most widely known technology in this area, and it's short for clustered regularly interspaced short palindromic repeats. And scientists all over the world are extremely ecstatic about the innovation, frankly, that it offers the world. But before I get into the details of Cas9 and tell you about the first designer baby, make sure you go ahead and subscribe. Yeah, and click that little bell beside the subscribe button. That'll let you know whenever I release new videos so you won't miss it. No more FOMO. Come on, just go ahead and click it. And if you're a real friend, share it with somebody. Sharing is caring. Barney taught me that. So what about this Cas9 business? Well, Cas9 is a special technology which can remove or add certain types of genes from a DNA molecule. Wait, I know you did hear me correctly, and trust me, when I first read about this, an alarm went off in the back of my head too, with the word add. Say what? I can add certain types of genes? So let's not get ahead of ourselves and hit that panic button just yet, because I know somebody was like, well, can I add some like Michael Jordan and Brad Pitt genes and all that to myself? It doesn't quite work like that. There has to be a good reason for adding add in the CRISPR line. Again, the science and technology here is meant to deal with potential illnesses and diseases that we're trying to screen and correct for. So in essence, CRISPR is really a way of just finding a specific fragment or segment of DNA inside a cell and then edit the genes to change out the piece or the fragment of the dangerous, ill, or diseased piece of the DNA. Now let's talk about the first so-called designer baby. So the first designer baby, his name is Adam Nash. He was born in 2000. And really the original idea behind why Adam was created, if that's how you want to look at it, is really a heart-wrenching one. Adam was one of 15 embryos created to find what was hopefully going to be a potential bone marrow match for his older sibling, because his older sibling was suffering from a particular kind of anemia. Now, that's really, when we're talking about gene editing and CRISPR, really those types of issues are why we're looking at the science in the first place. It's a very sobering, exciting, and even sometimes scary time to be looking at some of these advances in technology and medical science. But the important thing is we are working on ways to help people at the base level grow their family and do it in as safe and responsible a way as possible. So I got a question for you. How much do you think designer babies cost? Or better yet, what does it cost, and is it truly legal? Well, stick around for part 2 of this discussion. Also, if you're looking to grow your family through surrogacy, I have something for you. It's a training that I created that I call the 3 T's for Successful Surrogacy, and you can get it by clicking the link in the box below. Now, my 3T it's my personal methodology for how I go about surrogacy processes and how I go about helping my potential parent clients navigate through the surrogacy process. And the 3 T's must be in place for you to have a successful surrogacy. I'll give you a hint about the first T, or I'll just tell it to you. The first T is team. You gotta have the right teams. But if you wanna know what the other 2 T's are, click the link below and get access to the 3 T's of successful surrogacy. And I'll see you in the next episode.